Hi, I'm Zenzi. That's Zanzi. We are two elder autistic beings. 14 and a third, 55. We've been homeless for 3 years and a month and a half. In Pacific Grove for 2. I have references who I'm probably going to have to ask to get me a meeting. But dear Peace of Mind, I admire your work a lot. I'm in a very unique situation that nobody's even responded to my outreach for a meeting. I am uneligible for just about all charity, and because of the autism, the rampant insensitivity in our systems, often called dehumanization, is something I cannot. My autism, and if I could, and perhaps I should be frog marched. I can't leave the dog in a burning hot car. Every parking lot of anything is not going to have an appropriate amount of safe shade, so she's okay. We're in a conundrum here. And the conundrum is some things are wrong with us. But the reason we're actually here is because there's a lot right with me. And I'm working very diligently, but those people won't call me back either. We're in a society where nobody has time. I would like to talk to you about, in exchange for outreaching to your community to help me find a spare room in the Pacific Grove vicinity for the summer, I'd say 3 to 4 months, so I can regain enough of my health to go to Stanford, where I will undoubtedly soon, should anyone talk to me, be on the path to changing some faulty, flawed, and fraudulent paradigms of the Western thought tradition. My work is vast, and I tend to spin out and try and really convince you that I deserve to live. And having had 1,000 people not care and say you deserve to die, I'm not in a particularly good place to keep reaching out to people who won't even listen to me, spilling all of my vulnerability without the slightest bit of help. Now, 2 extraordinary humans are really on my side. I've got a retired doctor who's had a stroke, perfectly okay mind, a little bit of movement situations. She's certifying that there's something going on with my work. Got a local human who's just extraordinary. And I can't put this on YouTube. They will take away my right to post videos. There is no free speech. Not when you're trying to say, hey, I've figured out, here's something that Western medicine doesn't know, which they all admit they don't know, but I'm not allowed to be the one who knows it, even though it's precisely why I'm still alive in these situations. I have been expulsed from the my rights to life and liberty have been violated by not just a number of Pacific Grove citizens, but by the Pacific Grove police, by the Pacific Grove leadership. And these are documented on my YouTube channel. Police encounters. Not a hint of criminality, but yet they wake me up in the middle of the night, causing my autism to flare into months incapacity to work? How am I supposed to get better if sitting here working and reading is criminal? How am I supposed to earn a living when I'm being criminalized for breathing and sleeping? We need to tell my story. And what that requires right now is to find, and there is so many, and perhaps we can talk to one of the rental agencies, and the least expensive, least rented property they have. And I will do marketing and sponsorship for them. And for peace of mind, I have written a book which I think would offer a great public talk. It's called Second, A Tale of Grief and Puppy Love. So this 14-year-old. It's all about the death of my first dog from leptospirosis, and how I had to learn and how I did it all myself. And she required, an E-tube, a nose tube, which we had to take out, an E-tube every, 45 minutes, 24/7, I had to put water into her. That kind of physical exertion, the way I manage my autism is sleeping. That's a really smart way to do it. I want to help these kids. I'm reading a book. It's an important book. I'll show you. Part of my shtick. I'm going to be a very famous public speaker, a very famous public philosopher, if people will just let me get well. In the brain's way of healing, the man with Parkinson's, voluminous decades of neurologists certifying he has PD, but he writes a self-help book, and the medical establishment says he's dangerous, and ostracized him and kicked him off boards of helping PD. I'm alone in the world. Nobody's going to listen to me unless I have a really influential Stanford professor on my side, and we're working on that. I got that. But in order to take advantage, I need to be well rested. We all know the civilization is failing, and yet everyone bullies me. Don't bring it up. I'm the one willing to stand on a stage and address all of these problems. Citizens are crying in grocery stores. Crying in grocery stores. We all know this. How is it going to change? How are we going to get money to people who can't afford food? All of my problems are because I went to the food bank. Probably barely 9 months. I guess 9 months to a year. I mean, I'll try. Would I have to fast? Well, luckily I got enough onboard nutrition. But how we think about fasting is very incomplete, and it really has to be feast and famine. Unless you have the ability to load in a bunch of nutrition so that your body can do, it's extraordinarily energy intense renovation project. Occasionally, your body's going to demand essential amino and fatty acids. Those are the building blocks of your body that must come through the diet. So you can't just not eat forever and ever and ever while you're trying to save the species from self-extincting in approximately 30 years. I believe I've put this so these guys, no controversial YouTubiness, will verify that. And in peace of mind, please, I'd like to have a meeting with the executive director. I'm offering an exchange to help me get a temporary elder foster care situation for me and my dog. We are lovely housemates. I got a reference. Few months, get my health back, and then I'm off to Stanford. And then I'm off to everywhere. Every nook and cranny of Earth deserves to know there's a better way to think about human and canine functioning. So much of why I'm certain I know what I know is because I do. If Sure, okay, there's placebo effect. My mind is doing all this, saving my life. But the underlying theory also works for Zanzi. Elder dogs, I've got some ways to help. It's a really novel exercise, novel interactions, which is exactly what stops happening as we age for both species. A lot to offer. Give me a chance, please. Oh, here's actually, might as well. Here's the little postcard. There's the photo of the dog we will be helping. The book I wrote, Second, A Tale of Grief and Puppy Love. I would like to do a public donation event for Peace of Mind, do a little grief for a pet is intense. It's something that really deserves attention in many, many ways. It's hard to lose a pet. It's impossible to lose a pet because you've been confined to a 4x6 living space in your vehicle for 3 years and counting. Let's stop this nonsense happening to me because I'm just not being listened to. It's ridiculous. But this is what the economic system of plantation capitalism has created. And I'm going to, at great personal, the things I'm going to be called. But nonetheless, I am a Carnegie Mellon degreed philosopher, and I do have important things to say. I am onto something crucial that is, when I do the regression thinking, the zeitgeist is almost there, but the problem is the experts in the silos are not talking to each other. And as a generalist philosopher, I can fix that tiny little crevice and crack in our blind spots. That's my work in a nutshell. Harmony.